Now it's time to talk about the Lakers trade. Lakers made a trade on Sunday. D'Angelo Russell headed to Brooklyn for a second time. On the way back, and Max Lewis, Pepperdine legend, although I'm using that lightly, but I think it's fine. I don't really know if Max is an NBA player, to be honest with you. I never thought so, even though I watched him up close at Pepperdine. But as far as D'Lo being traded for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton, the official trade is D'Angelo Russell, Max Lewis, and 3 second-rounders to Brooklyn for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. And the picks are 2027, 2030, and 2031. Honestly, I think this is a huge win for the Lakers. I've talked about on this show before, and we've covered basically all of D'Angelo Russell's time with this second tenure with the Lakers here on Dime Dropper. You can go through all the videos. And I think he had a very solid second tenure. You know, he got a chance to finish off a chapter with the Lakers in which he started. He was a big part of them making the conference finals, but ultimately at the highest level of basketball, his game ended up being a type that doesn't translate. You know, I talked about those guys. What role can they play on a championship level team? I think D'Angelo Russell can play as a six-man kind of role in a championship team, but the Lakers just needed defense more. We've talked about it. This Laker team can't really guard. You know, their best defender is Max Christie and like really Gabe Vincent, and you're asking a lot of Austin Reeves. I mean, of course, Anthony Davis is the best defender on the team, but we're just talking like point of attack, right? Now you're adding more size. You're adding a guy that guards the best players in Dorian Finney-Smith. You know, he has playoff experience, has gone to the conference finals with Dallas, and he's such a likable guy. Dallas Maverick fans loved him. He shoots the three ball really well. And this season, he's shooting the three ball at a 43% clip. Do I think that he's averaging 10 points a game to go along with 5 rebounds? Do I think that's sustainable? No, I don't. But do I think he's going to shoot 38% or higher? Yes. And that mixed with defense is a huge win for the Lakers because that's not something they've really had in recent years. And even if they get Vando back, and they said that Vando was a participant in practice on Monday, but not contact, the Lakers are now getting pieces that will make them a competent defensive team. And that will then make them a greater threat to do things in the playoffs. So as far as D'Lo, you know, the thing about him is he doesn't get to the paint enough. He lives on a diet of tough jumpers, right? And that can be very hit or miss. And when you're missing those shots, you're not really drawing 2 players on the ball, which creates openings for other teammates. He's not a good defender at all. And the biggest thing about D'Lo is he doesn't do the little things that help you win games at the highest level. You don't see him diving for a loose ball. You don't see him playing super hard defensively. You don't see him crashing the boards. You don't see extra effort stuff. So it's really he's just a skill player. And in the starting lineup, he is too cool for school, you know, as a fourth option. If he's a fourth option, it's a lot of off-ball stuff. And, you know, he's whatever with the catch and shoot threes. I feel like he needs a little bit more of a rhythm. So that's why I thought he played better basketball when he went to the bench. But the Lakers got an opportunity to get Dorian Finney-Smith. Shake Milton also can do some of what D'Lo does off the bench, but he's been in and out of NBA rotation, so we'll see. I think he'll be very streaky. As far as D'Lo, it's kind of harsh, you know, going from a team that has a chance to do something to the Nets who are rebuilding, and it's like sending him to the Nets for a rebuild again. But he is a free agent in the summer. He can build his value up a little bit by going off there, and the fans love him there. But we'll see. He might get bought out for all we know, and then it'll be interesting to see where he gets routed to. But if you're the Lakers, I think you got to win here. You know, the D'Angelo Russell was disappointing in the playoffs. You get a guy that's proven in the playoffs that can guard the point of attack, and now you're looking at, he's not going to start against Cleveland, but a lineup of potentially Austin Reeves at the point guard position, and then you have Max Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD. You have a lot of defense there. You have 2 guys guarding point of attack and Anthony Davis. Essentially, LeBron and Austin Reeves are your worst defenders in that lineup. And then you have Jared Vanderbilt coming off the bench to go along with Rui Hachimura, who you now have coming off the bench for that offensive spark, and Gabe Vincent, who's starting to pick it up. So the one flaw, though, to me, you look at this roster, backup big. Both LA teams need a backup big. I think the Lakers need an upgrade over Koloko and Jackson Hayes if they want to be a championship contender. Because I still think that there's the thing that Laker fans don't want to admit, a lot of them, some do, but some don't, is that if they don't have a third star, and let's say Austin Reeves is the closest thing to that, this is a pretty good supporting cast. The one other place I would improve is the center spot. But what like shooting guard kind of guy are you going to find that's not all-star caliber? You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to really make a difference here. It's got to be an all-star caliber kind of guy to take Max Christie out of that starting lineup. Or you can go big and go Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and then either Rui or Vando in that starting lineup when Vando comes back. But I think the thing that people don't want to talk about is this. Everybody knows that LeBron is not going to be the best player on a team at age 40. Like he might be the best player in a series and maybe win finals MVP, but he's not going to be the best player on a championship team at age 40. Anthony Davis, it's pretty consensus. And if you don't believe it, that Anthony Davis is the best player on this team, then I think you're just a LeBron fanboy. But can Anthony Davis, because this is not 1A, 1B anymore. LeBron's the leader, but AD is the best player. Can AD be the best player on a championship team? Consensus, not 1A, 1B. Can he score the ball and create offense enough for that? Can Austin Reeves be a third option on a championship team? These are the big questions. And again, this is not a shot at them. This is how hard it is to win a championship. Your second best player is 40. We've never had anybody do that, but LeBron's an exception. So AD's got to be that guy. Can he be the best player on a championship team? We'll see. I think the next step for the Lakers is to get, I think a third star at this point, you're gutting your team. There's no way you can get a third star without trading Austin Reeves. And I don't think you should trade Austin Reeves for what? For Zach LaVine? I think Austin Reeves is good to alleviate pressure off of LeBron because now that you don't have D'Lo, you have one less creator. Vincent, he hasn't really sold me as a creator yet. So having Reeves is very important. You know, you need another on-ball guy to take pressure off a 40-year-old man. So I think it's a big win for the Lakers overall. And I think D'Lo will be remembered fondly for this second tenure, even though he had some rough moments. But they're still not, it's still not the type of move that makes me say the Lakers are a championship contender now. But they're closer to it, and that's important. And so Pelinka, it's always funny. He seems to save his ass every time the pressure's at the highest. Like, you know, with the D'Lo move, the first to get D'Lo and Vando, that was huge, right when everybody was criticizing him, and now he did this. So we'll see. The Lakers might still be cooking. They didn't give up any first-round picks. So I think their next move is going to be either going for a backup big or a third star, although I think a third star is too risky. I think you just got to go with the model right now, which is still with LeBron and AD. You have the closest thing to a third star that you didn't have in 2020 in Austin Reeves. And then from there, you fill it out with defensive pieces like you had in 2020. So I think that's the move. But appreciate you all for being here. And thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe on the channel for all things LA sports, LA basketball, and of course, NBA. Have a good night and have a happy new year. But I'll be live tomorrow to talk about Lakers, Cavs, and Clippers, Spurs.